Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It's February 2nd, 2019, the 33rd day of the calendar year, Groundhog's Day. And with regards to Groundhog's Day, there's something that's been going on in this nation for a very long time, and that's contriving news stories that bring up our racial differences and hatred of the past. So here we are. Just yesterday, Friday, the news broke about the Virginia governor, a picture emerging from his yearbook on the first day of Black History Month, him possibly in a KKK costume or in blackface. And yesterday, the governor came out and said it was a mistake. Now, today, the 33rd day of the year, he said it wasn't him, but in 1984, he dressed up in blackface as Michael Jackson. And we're going to get to why it's so interesting that he says the year 84. We talked about it many times before. Michael Jackson died on George Orwell's birthday. George Orwell, who wrote the book 1984. But let's just go through this. I'm going to talk about this incident and show you how repetitive the pattern is of what's encoded in this story throughout history. So, racism, it's a number we talk about a lot. Behind racism, 63. The word racism has a gematria 63. The name of this governor is Ralph Northam. His name has gematria of 63 and our two reduction-based ciphers. And just in case you're new here, so you don't get confused, I just want to introduce you to this code. There's four base ciphers. The most simple to understand is the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. This next cipher, the dark blue cipher, is the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. Notice 26, Z is the 26th letter, 2 plus 6 is 8. Simple. You just make each letter a single digit number using the alphabetic order. So like, for example, if you take J, the 10th letter, the numerology of 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1. You take P, the 16th letter, 1 plus 6 is 7. You just make each letter a single digit number. The next cipher right here is the reverse alphabetic order. So A is the end of the order. Z is 1, back to A is 26, and the last cipher is just the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. These are our four base ciphers. In case you're new here, words that have relationships like witch and broom, perfect overlap in all four ciphers. Judge and gavel, a judge's tool. Order in the court, judge and gavel, overlap in all four ciphers. Words that have relationships, they often have a lot of overlap in the ciphers. So anyhow, racism with the alphabetic order 63. This man's name, Ralph Northam, with our reduction ciphers using the rules of numerology 6363. It wasn't long ago this past summer that this was a major headline. The U.S. government reopening its case on the Emmett Till death, a story that had everything to do with racism, a young black man whistling at a white woman, murdered. But after 63 years, around that same time, Roseanne Barr, she was getting booted off her show. She made a racist tweet 63 days after the show began. We talked about how Bill Cosby was getting shamed by the numbers. 63 days apart, he was in court with headlines about him being a sexually aggressive predator, the same headline used on both days, the days 63 days apart. Countless examples over the years. I'm going to talk about this with Eric Garner, who was choked out ahead. So today, the 33rd day of the year, Northam denies being in racist photo, but recalls darkening his skin in Michael Jackson dance contest in 1984. And again, Michael Jackson died June 25th, which is George Orwell's birthday, who wrote the book 1984. 84 is also a very special number to this nation, a nation that's always been divided, the people, over religion, race, university, sports team, sexuality, whatever we can be divided over. So, notice in Gematria, United States of America is 84. If you've never read the book 1984, written by George Orwell, it's about a nation a lot like ours. People are ruled over with fear and intimidation. The nation's always at war. Martin Luther King Jr., a year to the day of his death, April 4th, 1967, gave a speech, A Time to Break Silence, where he said, what was at the heart of all the hatred in this nation was all the militarism. He said, as long as that's not addressed, none of the other problems will heal. Anyway, that was April 4th, 1967. He was killed 4/4/1968. Anyhow, George Orwell, he wrote 1984, United States of America, 84. Masonry 84, Jesuit 84, Zionism 84, special number. 1984 was also 35 years ago, and just for the record, Northam's 35. So this photo that came out of the yearbook, the KKK costume next to the guy in blackface, this was out of the Eastern Virginia Medical School yearbook. And Eastern Virginia Medical School equals 137. That's the 33rd prime number. Very special number in itself. But in this case, the 33rd prime. Here we are on the 33rd day of the year, where he said he dressed up as Michael in blackface once upon a time. Notice ever since Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we've gotten a lot of blackface stories. This is the latest. Every year around Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Jackie Robinson's birthday, which was January 31st, the start of Black History Month, every year it's clockwork. All of these racially divisive stories will come up. But anyway, Eastern Virginia Medical School, 137, the 33rd prime. Race war equals 33. Think about Rodney King beaten on March 3rd. We'll get to that ahead. Michael, he dressed up as Michael Jackson, Michael 33. Costume of the KKK, K is the 11th letter, 11 plus 11 plus 11, 33. And with regards to Michael Jackson, he's been used in racially divisive narratives for so long. You know, a black man that whitened his skin. I always wonder if he did that with his own will, because these celebrities, you know, they got the hidden hand behind them. And I can just think of all the years of, oh, what's that late night guy's name? Conan O'Brien, always making fun of Michael Jackson. There was just always a racial element to it that couldn't have been any more clear. And don't forget, it was Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 who sang the song about ABC, 1, 2, 3, like this code. But anyway, race war, Michael, KKK. Here we are on the 33rd day of the year where he makes this comment about dressing up as Michael Jackson. And speaking of Michael and racial division, do you remember the killing of Michael Brown? I actually made my first YouTube video that stayed up after the killing of Michael Brown. And when I made the video, it was a prediction about the number 33. Some of you have been here since that time. But I want to show you the parallel here. Michael Brown was killed August 9th, 8/9. This story is coming out of Virginia. It's the Virginia governor. Virginia's 89. 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number. And again, this has to do with race. Blackface. 89 is the 11th Fibonacci. Black equals 11. With regards to the prediction I made about Michael Brown's killing, if you can go back to that story and remember the shooting in Ferguson, Missouri, where the body was left in the middle of the street for hours for no reason. If you go back and watch that video footage, what's strange is they load the body of Michael Brown after it sits in the street for hours into the back of a police SUV. They don't load it into an ambulance. They load it into the back of a police SUV. And I have a theory on why, but ignoring that for now, I predicted that when they released the name of the police officer, his name would sum to 33, because it's a number that shows up again and again in racially divisive propaganda. As we covered, race war equals 33. And here we are on the 33rd day of the year with a story about race front and center. They ended up saying the name of the officer was Darren Wilson. And of course, the name Darren equals 33, like police, like masonry, like federal, like secrecy, like order. Again, federal government in Washington, D.C., named after the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason, George Washington, who was a slave owner. It's not an accident that the only two black quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl were both connected to Washington teams. One played for the Washington Redskins. They won with 42 points. The other played for the Seattle Seahawks in Washington State, the 42nd state. Slavery equals 42. Another number coded all over black history. And look at what's on Darren Wilson's t-shirt. When they put out his name, this was the image released with the killer of Michael Brown, wearing the number 42 and a Blues hockey t-shirt. And if you don't know Gematria, you cannot see what's behind the coding of this imagery. But this killing was in Ferguson, Missouri. Ferguson's 42, Missouri's 42. The term brothers is 42. The N-word's 42. February, Black History Month's 42. February ends on the 59th day of the year, which we'll get to. This governor we're talking about is 59 years old, born in 1959. Freemason's also 42. One of the rules of Freemasonry is you can't have been a slave, and this code is Masonic. Also important, the Jesuits. Jesuit 42. The Jesuit motto, one of their mottos, is divide and conquer. And that's what these stories are about, keeping the populace divided so we fight amongst ourselves and get ruled over by tyrants. Now remember, this story about the Virginia governor just broke on the first day of February, Black History Month. And this year, February 1st, 2019, was a date with 42 numerology as well. 2 plus 1 plus 20 plus 19, the way it fell. Again, February ends on the 59th day of the year, the awkward month, 31 days in January, 28 in February. Important because Negro, slave, Rasta, Blues, they all sum to 59. And again, look at what's on his shirt. Number 42 Blues, the hockey team in St. Louis, not far from Ferguson. So here's the governor, Ralph Northam. His birthday, September 13th, 1959. For the record, that's the day Tupac Shakur died. Tupac Shakur equals 139. So does Freemasonry, like 13/9. But 59 years old, born in 59. The word cracker has Gematria 59, like the slave master with the whip. So let's put all this together. We're talking about 33, 42, 59. Remember the beating of Rodney King by the LAPD on March 3rd? Police is 33, LAPD is 33. Rodney King equals 59. Rodney King was born on April 2nd, 4/2. Rodney King would also supposedly drown, like a racial stereotype. You know, white men can't jump, black men can't swim. And the day Rodney King drowned was the same day that ended up becoming the Charleston church shooting in history. Rodney King died of a drowning, and then not long after, some years after, you end up getting the Charleston church shooting, a racially divisive story on that same day. A story that was in tribute to the 16th Street Baptist church bombing. Covered that back then. Dylan Stormroof. But 42, 59, 33, again and again, just like it's encoded into this story. Trayvon Martin. He was buried on March 3rd, the anniversary of Rodney King beating. And, of course, another racially divisive story. The name Martin has that Gematria 42, just like in the sitcom Martin. He lives in apartment number 42. His initials TM, like trademark, 33. His father was a Mason. Do you remember the killing of Sandy Bland, the story that didn't make any sense? She got pulled over. She was put in jail. Supposedly she hung herself in her jail cell. Sandy Bland, 33. The name Bland, 33. Supposedly she died July 13th, a date that can be written 13/7, like 137, the 33rd prime. Just like how this governor's yearbook, that school has Gematria of 137, the 33rd prime. Eric Garner, remember when his family got the big settlement on July 13th, 13/7? Racial story. Police officer chokes him out to death. His family got 5.9 million. 5.9, like 59, like Negro, like slave, like Blues. The name Garner has that Gematria 63, like racism, like Ralph Northam, again, like the Emmett Till story reopened this past summer, 63 years later. Eric Garner's daughter would supposedly then die suspiciously. Erica Garner, 63. And the day she died, December 30th, that's the only day in the calendar year where you can add the day plus the month and it equals 42. There's no other day in the entire calendar year. 12 plus 30, 42. Other numbers stamped all over Black history. Happens to be the birthday of Tiger Woods. Tiger and Woods, son to 59. Remember, Tiger had his big comeback year last year at age 42. Tiger Woods, who was on pace to demolish every golf record before he was shamed in the media with supposedly these affairs. LeBron James, that's his birthday too, December 30th. LeBron James was just sitting out with the fake injury. They bring him back on Jackie Robinson's birthday. Jackie Robinson, number 42. LeBron James, 42. He scores 24 in the game in his return on Jackie's birthday. 24, the reflection of 42. Jackie Robinson lost his son in a car crash at age 24 once upon a time. Today, also on the 33rd day of the year, the rapper Bow Wow, who used to be Little Bow Wow, began as a child, or Lil Bow Wow, on the 33rd day of the year, down on the 33rd parallel in Atlanta, on the 84th meridian, numbers we've been talking about, ATL 33. He's getting charged with battery, supposedly a fight with a woman. And couldn't help but notice that his birthday is the day Notorious B.I.G. died. And from his last birthday to this story today is 330 days, like 33 on the 33rd day of the year. Remember, 39, like 39, that's the year the segregation era ended. It's part of the reason Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. were both killed at age 39. Both of their names also having Gematria 93, like Black History Month. So just some more racial shaming. We just saw this done with Chris Brown. Chris Brown's whole career is racial shaming by the number 42. We just talked about that in recent days. This man, Bow Wow, his birth last name is Moss, which also carries that number of 42. From Ralph Northam, the governor in Virginia, who's at the center of this story, from his birthday to the day the news broke was his 142nd day of his age. Again, when you write out 42 as a word, just using the alphabetic order, it sums to 142. Reminding of President Obama, 142. Obama's call name by the Secret Service was Renegade, 59, like Negro, like slave, like blues. Obama's legacy is Obamacare, 59. Just for a little bit more review, I mean, just this past week, Jussie Smollett, the ongoing racial story surrounding the number 42 on Jackie Robinson's birthday, new information came out about how there was video evidence of him having a noose around his neck. By the way, you put a noose around your neck when you become a Freemason. Put a blindfold around your eyes and a noose around your neck. But the emerging detail on Jackie Robinson's birthday as well is that he received white powder in the mail January 22nd, 19, a date with 42 numerology. He got beat up January 29th, 2019, a date with a life lesson number of 42. And on Jackie's birthday, this came out. And for you baseball sports fans, if you've never heard me say this before, if you look it up, the actual first black baseball player in white major league was Moses Walker in the late 1800s, and he played in exactly 42 games. This code's been used for a long, long time. Last year, 2018, on Jackie Robinson's birthday, the death of 3 black celebrities: Rajuel Butler, basketball player; Oscar Gamble, Major League Baseball player; LaTanya Lemon, the sister of Don Lemon. In the case of LaTanya Lemon, they said she drowned in a pond. Pond 59, Lemon 59, like Negro, like slave, like blues. And you see this 76 over here? It's true for Negro. It's true for slave. It's true for blues. The Million Man March was on the day leaving 76 days left in the year, not by accident. Understand, all these ciphers, they get used in these rituals. But Covered all this stuff this week. I just want to be really thorough. There's always people who are finding my work for the first time ever. It's their first day ever seeing this, even though we've been doing it for 5 years straight. But here it is. Rajuel Butler, 42 man, dead on Jackie's birthday. Oscar Gamble, not only dead on Jackie Robinson's birthday, he was a Major League Baseball player, and he died 42 days after his own birthday on Jackie's birthday. And again, known for the afro, dead at age 68 was Oscar Gamble. Same year MLK got killed, Noose 68. So. And also covered this week, even called Cory Booker and Kamala Harris's office about this. Just for good measure, Cory Booker, black man running for president on a date with 42 numerology, the day he announces it, the first day of Black History Month. All these words with the 42, slavery, Tuskegee, Martin, Malcolm X, Huxtable, Cosby Show, so many more. Notice Obama. From Obama's birthday each year, August 4th, 8-4, big number we've been talking about here today. From his birthday each year to the start of Black History Month is 181 days. 181 is the 42nd prime. And Barack Obama in Jewish Gematria, most important cipher outside of the base ciphers, 181. Obama also 84, like his birthday. And I've always said Barack Hussein Obama, it's not his real name, it's his character name. Barack Hussein Obama equals 64, like civil rights. Elected number 44, 44 years after the Civil Rights Act of 64. So. Cory Booker, what they did to him is they had him announce on his 281st day of his age. That's the 60th prime number. And look at the N word with the alphabetic order, 60. Also, just in days when Stacey Abrams of Georgia gives the Democratic response to the State of the Union, recognize that that's going to be on her 59th day of her age. This black woman, from her birthday to the day she gives the Democratic response, will be her 59th day of her age. And the day it was announced that she would give the response was January 29th, 2019, a date with 42 numerology. So those are just recent examples. Stuff goes on all the time. News, sports, all the time. All the time. And if you recognize the code, you'll see how they bring these numbers together again and again. Let me see if I can pull up this example real quick. This is from last Major League Baseball season. Yeah, here it is. Or actually, I guess it was already 2 years ago now. Pittsburgh Pirates rookie Gift Ngope, first African player to reach majors. So look at his name, Gift, 42, you know. His full name equals 59, 42, 59. His full name has this gematria of 84 as well. Remember how this governor's saying he dressed up as Michael Jackson in 84. Playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's interesting that Jackie Robinson Day is on the 105th day of every year. Jackie Robinson was called up on April 15th, the 105th day. Moses Fleetwood Walker, the full name of that first black baseball player, is 105. Masonry is also 105. Again, that's where this code goes back to. That player did something this past season, too, that was 42-59. He had some accomplishment. I wanted to see if I could pull that up real quick. Should have had that slide ready. But if you ever just come to my blog and use the search, I mean, there's like, I don't know, approaching 25,000 posts. There's a lot of information here. So, yeah, it was 2008. There was something last year. I believe it was that same player who had the another 42-59 rep. Oh, yeah, here's something I could show you about pro basketball. Remember Russell Westbrook just set the mark with his 42nd triple-double, the workhorse stat. Think about slavery 42. And he's chasing Oscar Robertson, who has the all-time record with 181, the 42nd prime. Stuff's not an accident. know. They say HIV was discovered in 59, or HIV traces back to 1959. Notice HIV is 42, and it originates out of the Belgian Congo, 59. Magic Johnson, what year was he born? Magic Johnson. Remember the HIV in the basketball? He was born in 59. Happens to be 59 years old right now. I wanted to pull up this. Shoot. Yeah, I just got so many posts. We could be scanning for quite a while. There was some baseball accomplishment last year with 42 and 59, and I thought it was that same black baseball player, Gift. Yeah, I'll have to go back and find it and save it for a later post. But there was some accomplishment last year, like 42 straight games on a date with 59 numerology. Shoot. But we can wrap it up there for now, Truth Seeker. Again, if you are new here, you can pick up this book. It's an ebook. You're welcome to print it out. It's nearly 800 pages long. Took me 5 years to write this book, tons of research. The 18th chapter is about the contrived race war by the numbers over the years and how these rituals come together again and again. The 18th chapter. You'll definitely want all the information in the book, but if you want to learn more about the racial code over the years and how they just do this again and again, really, you owe it to yourself to pick up this book, get this information. Because it's an ebook, once you download a copy, people ask me all the time, can I share this through email? Do you mind? I say, yeah, go ahead. You bought one copy. I don't mind if you share it with your friends and family. You know, you could share it with your whole email list. You could share it with 1,000 people. But do me the favor, if you do share it with people, just say, hey, if you find this information valuable, please go out and support the author and pick up a copy yourself. But I don't mind if you buy one copy and share it with your whole email list. So you're more than welcome to. Yeah, links in the description to pick up the book. I always pin it as the top comment too in each video. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.